Hello everyone and welcome back to Cyberwhale, and I hope that Cyberwhale family is enjoying the ethical hacking journey till now that we have discussed and the videos that I'm sharing with you every single day. And if you guys are liking it, I will be more than happy to know about your reviews. So please do share your precious reviews and comments in the comment section, and I would be really happy to know that you guys are enjoying the journey till now. And so for today's video we are going to discuss about is day 5 content. That day 5 content is basically going to consist of advanced scanning techniques. In this video we are basically going to discuss about the advanced techniques that are basically needed for the scanning, and in which it comprises of 3 to 4 topics that are basically: number one is, you can say, banner grabbing and version detection. Next is, you can say, the vulnerability scanning. Next is the tools needed for all of these things like banner grabbing, version detection, vulnerability scanning. And for the hands-on, again, it is going to be a whole new video. So are you guys ready to hop on to the banner grabbing and version detection and the advanced scanning techniques? Okay, so let's just start with the banner grabbing first. Firstly, we'll be discussing about the banner grabbing. As you can say, banner grabbing means, as its name itself suggests, to grab some kind of banner of particular packet. To grab, that's my particular way of telling you the definition, but it's not actually the definition, but I'm making it easier for you guys. So banner grabbing is basically to grab the information from the banner of the packet. As we all know that the data is being transmitted from one end to another end through packets, or you can say in the terms of packet, right? So what is the task of banner grabbing is to collect the information. Basically the task of banner grabbing is to collect the information. Wait a minute, guys, I made a mistake. Yeah, collect the information. Why I'm making so many mistakes, I don't know. Collect the information from the headers or banners of the packets, right? Okay, let's just take an example to explain you this very interesting topic. Let's just say this is one, then goes another network. Let's say these are the two networks. I'm going to write it over here. Yeah, network 1, and let me write it here, network 2, right? This is network 1 and network 2, and the data is being transmitted from here to here and from network 2 to network 1. This is the way of transmission actually. Yes, guys, we basically transmit our data from one network to another network through this. So how this data is being transmitted now, let's say this and this. Let's just take one more so that it will be easier for you guys to understand. Let's just say that these are the packets. The transmission of data from one network to another network is done with the help of packets. You can say packet number 1, then goes the packet number 2, then I'll write it here, packet number 3. You can say this is the process of transmitting data from one network to another, that is through the packets, that is packet 1, packet 2 and packet 3. These packet go one by one into the network. So these packets have headers into them, that what data it is collecting, or what this packet is coming from which IP address, or it is going to which IP address. Let's say we all know that, let's just write it here. Let's say this network have any kind of IP address, this network also have some kind of IP address, right? So this IP address is written over here, and to send it to this particular network, it will also be having the IP address of this network too. That means we are going to know about where to send this data through the packet headers. Okay, we are going to know it from packet headers, and packet headers consists of basic information about that particular packet, basic information about the network it needs to be sent. It needs to be sent. Okay, this is what packet headers are. So now I'll write a full definition of banner grabbing so that you guys can understand what I actually want to tell you. Let's just write it here. Banner grabbing is the process of collecting information about the services or you can say applications uh, running on a running on a target. That means it is a process of collecting information about the services. What kind of services or application are running on a particular target? Let's say this network 2 is our target. Let's just write it over here. Let's say network 2 is our target. And when we and when we are sending our data from network 2 to network 1, then it is consisting of some kind of information from which, like you can say, okay, let me just write it over here. Yeah, let's say it consists of it is using version 2 of Apache. So that's how it is having a local host. So how we are getting to know about this thing? We are going to get to know about this thing with the packet headers, and packet headers are actually the banner grabbing. So let's take one more example to make it understand to you. System by connecting to its port and reading the banners or headers. As banner grabbing says, that process of collecting information about the services or applications running on a target to a target system by connecting to its ports. What will it do? Network 2 will connect to its target system. Network 2 is our target. We are a network 1. Okay, let's just take it straight. Might be it will be confusing for you guys, so I'll just make it easier. Let me write it down. Let's say network 2 is our target, and network 1 is the sender. So if we want to collect the information regarding target, what network 1 is going to do? It is going to connect with the targets target which is our target. Network 2 is our target, so it is going to connect to the network 2's ports, whatever the port is there, in order to read the banners or the headers that it is sending back to the services. Okay, I hope it is clear to you guys and you have understood what I meant to say. It is going to read the information regarding the target by connecting it to its ports. We are going to connect to its port, and then we are going to grab the information that is coming through the network. That is what banner grabbing is. So this is basically grabbing. It is the initials. It is the initial stage, guys. You can say initial stage, or you can also say that it is used to gather initial information about any target, or you can say host. What kind of information? Now you guys might be thinking, what kind of information does it grab or capture? You can say software type, or you can say the version, right? So this banner grabbing actually grabs us the information about the software type, what kind of software the another network is using, or what kind of version the another network is using. That is what actually is the banner grabbing. Now moving on further, there are types of banner grabbing. Now we are going to discuss about the types of banner grabbing. Now there are two types of banner grabbing, as of the same as of the, you can say, footprinting and reconnaissance, because it is also a part of footprinting and reconnaissance where we are scanning things. The only difference is that here we are scanning, there we were actually gathering information through different means. So here in this types of banner grabbing, there are two types of banner grabbing, which is number one is active, and number two is passive. So herein, what we are going to do, as we are going to discuss about active and passive banner grabbing, we are going to move on, and let me tell you. Okay. Active banner grabbing, what is actually the active banner grabbing? Active banner grabbing do is actively sends the requests to the target to grab responses. As I have already stated that it captures the request from one network and sends it to another network. That's how we capture the information and grab the information about the target. So actively we are going to continuously, or you can say, just wait, we are going to continuously send the requests request to the sender, or you can say the target to grab response. And if we will grab the response, what we are getting, again we are going to grab the headers, packets, and that's how we can gather the information and grab the information regarding the software type or version. That's how we are actively engaging with the target. That is what active banner grabbing is. I hope it is clear. Now moving on further, we have passive banner grabbing. What does passive banner grabbing actually do is, guys, passive, again it is same as the previous active and passive reconnaissance. Here is, we are going to just passively keep a note, or you can say keep an eye on our target system. We are going to keep an eye on our target to gather info about it. Okay, that means we are going to sniff into the system, sniffing traffic. We are going to sniff into the system. That means we are going to sniff the traffic that is coming from the one network to another network. I hope it is also clear, guys, and you guys are understanding what I mean to say is, we are going to just keep an eye. We are just going to sniff the traffic. We are just going to keep an eye on our target to understand what kind of data it is sending without directly interacting with the system. As it is, again, passive is without directly interacting, we are getting information. So I hope the types of banner grabbing is also clear to you guys. Now, the tools basically which are used to perform banner grabbing, and for active banner grabbing, what kind of tools we are going to use? We are going to use netcat, and also you can say telnet. We can use these two tools for active banner grabbing. These are the tools, guys. Yeah. And for now, moving on to passive, what tools we are going to use? For passive banner grabbing, we are going to use Wireshark, because with the help of Wireshark, you guys can sniff into the traffic and gather the information regarding that particular target. So, okay, so till now we have discussed about the banner grabbing and the tools for the banner grabbing. That means the two topics are done, the tools for the banner grabbing and banner grabbing. Now we are going to discuss about the version detection. So let's just start with version detection. Now, what is the version detection, guys? As its name states, to detect about the version, right? To detect about the version, right? That is what version scanning is, or version detection is. That means, you can say, it is the process of determining the version of software or services. Means we are going to detect about the version of any kind of software, you can say software or services that are running, wait, that are running over the target system. That is what the basic meaning of version detection is. Now, what is the purpose of version detection? Because अब version detect करेंगे तो it's obvious that we have to also, there might be some reason that why are we detecting the version, क्योंकि version तो किसी भी चीज़ का हो सकता है ना guys. It's a normal thing. Even our laptops have the version sometimes, so even our simple things have the version. So why do we need version detection? Why do we need to perform version detection? And that's how the purpose comes. Number one purpose is to identify, wait a second, identify outdated or vulnerable version or software, version software in order to exploit it, software in order to exploit it, right? Yeah, that's why we need version detection. Number two, if we go, then confirm the findings from the banner grabbing. We need to confirm the findings from the banner grabbing, that whether the information that we got from the banner grabbing was actually correct about this particular software outdated version or something like that, is true or not. I hope the purposes are clear to you and you get to know why do we basically need the version detection. Now, if we move on and discuss about the tools which are needed for the version detection, then the tools that we are going to need for this is, number one is, as usual, Nmap guys, because network mapper is the best tool that can help you understand any kind of to perform any kind of scanning, rather it is for version detection or for TCP UDP scans or for, you can say, OS versions. You can find out anything from Nmap. Now moving on, another tool that we can use is to check the HTTP headers, and that is we can do from the burp suite. Yeah, we can perform the checking of the header, HTTP header, using the burp suite. That is what are the tools for the version detection. So I guess this is also clear, and we are clear cut till now that banner grabbing and version detection is clear. The tools for the banner grabbing and version detection is done. Now moving on further, we have the vulnerability scanning. Now we'll be discussing about the vulnerability scanning. Again guys, the definition of these things are in it itself, like vulnerability scanning, the name is itself defining its definition. So we are going to discuss about the vulnerability scanning, which means to scan about the, okay, wait a second, um stroke white, yeah, okay, it is to identify, the security weakness and vulnerability into the system, right? System, network, application, it could be anything. So I'm just going to write down system. So vulnerability scanning means to scan the system to identify any kind of security weakness or vulnerability into that particular system. Vulnerability is a kind of loophole, guys. What is it? It is a kind of loophole into the system. Loophole into the system through which a person can easily, you can say, a person can easily find a back door and create a back door and get into your system. So we need to perform vulnerability scanning. It is a very crucial part. That is what vulnerability scanning is. Now moving on to its, you can say, the purpose of vulnerability scanning. Again, what are the purpose of vulnerability scanning? Because purpose is really important. Why? As one, I have stated that person can create a loophole. You finding After finding a loophole, a person can create a backdoor or something into to get into your system. So first is to detect the known vulnerability that could be exploited. Detect the known vulnerability that could be exploited, right? That could be exploited. So this is for this. And second thing you can say is to assess risk and prioritize patching or mitigation efforts. That means to prioritize the mitigation efforts. Like we can say if there is any kind of vulnerability which is of a low risk, vulnerability which is of low risk, and let's say there is one vulnerability which is of a high risk. So which one needs to be taken care first, which one needs to be which one needs to be taken care of first? So obviously the higher one na? We are going to take care of higher one first. That's how it prior vulnerability scanning prioritizes by disclaiming them as one of them as low and one of them as high according to the priority setting list or the checklist that we have. uh, we we have by, you can say, NIST frameworks have actually, I guess, created one checklist for the vulnerability which is a high, which is low, and on that priorities we can take care of low risk or the high risk, and which needs to be taken care first. That's how we can perform vulnerability scanning, and that's the purpose of vulnerability scanning. So now the tools for the vulnerability scanning obviously going to come, because we have discussed for the above ones as well, so we are going to discuss for this as well. Tools, we can use OpenVAS, as I have already stated you. Number two, we are going to discuss this Bob Suite. That's my favorite, guys. I love to work on Bob Suite, though I sometimes get confused while using it, but still I am very happy, and I'm always happy while using Bob Suite. So next is, you can say, Qualys. Qualys. What is the task of Qualys, guys? Qualys is a cloud based vulnerability scanner. Vulnerability scanner. So these are the tools. So guys, I hope this topic regarding the advanced techniques of, you can say, sorry, advanced scanning techniques are clear to you guys. Techniques to scan things like banner grabbing, version detection, vulnerability scanning, and tools we have already discussed side by side with the topics. So now comes the question that how these things are related. I guess you guys found something related. If you have taken care of it, or if you have not noticed something, then you might have seen one thing that is very common, that these things are almost connected. Now we are going to discuss that how these things are connected. Let's say this is our banner grabbing. Next comes the you can say version detection. Then moving on further, we have is vulnerability scanning, right? Now we are going to connect them. These all of them are connected, and how all of them three are connected, we, let's say, okay, let me write here: banner grabbing, sorry, control Z. Okay, next is version detection. Another is vulnerability scanning, right? Now, as I have said that it grabs the information from the packet headers in a simpler information, what it does is grabs the info from the wait a second, guys, just a second, yeah, grabs the information from the packet headers, right? Headers. Then we comes to the version detection. What basically it finds is the information that it is grabbing is software types, or you can say the versions of the services that it is using. That is what basically banner grabbing do. So when we detect about the version from the nmap or the tools, you can say, that we have discussed, you can say any kind of tool. So when version detection takes place, what version detection do is it confirms the, okay, again I have to move it here because it is going to take the space otherwise. Yeah, it confirms the information info that is grabbed using banner grabbing, right? So these things get grabbing, yeah, so these things are getting connected, yeah. Firstly we did the as I have stated one thing over here while we were discussing about the banner grabbing, that banner grabbing is the initial phase where it is yeah, initial stage which is used to gather initial information. So firstly we grabbed the initial information using banner grabbing, then we are confirming using the version detection that whether the information that we have grabbed from using the banner grabbing is correct or not. That's how we use the version detection. Number one, we did banner grabbing, then we are moving on to version detection. So these two things took place. Then what basically do is it collected the information and informed the user that it is correct, that it is correct or not, right? And inform that it is correct or not. If the information is correct, then what it is going to do? Okay, just a second. Then we are going to do on the vulnerability scanning. And what is the task of vulnerability scanning? It takes up the information from the both of these steps, both of these steps, that is, you can say banner and vulnerability detection, right? It takes up the information from all of those previous steps, and what it is going to do, analyze, and then it will analyze. Wait a second, let me write it here. So yeah, then it is going to analyze analyze all the potential weaknesses based on the known vulnerabilities, known vulnerabilities. So you can see, firstly we grabbed the information using the banner grabbing, then we confirmed whether the information was correct or not using the version detection. Then we analyzed all the information that we have collected using the vulnerability scanning to find the non-vulnerability, whether there is any kind of vulnerability that can be exploited or not. So I guess the topic is pretty clear, guys, and I have made it really clear to you guys. It in an easier way. And the topics that we have discussed are banner grabbing, version detection, vulnerability scanning, and tools, and also the relation between the banner grabbing, version detection, and vulnerability scanning. I hope so you liked the video. If you like the video, do subscribe my channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends so that they can also have a benefit out of it. And thank you so much, guys. See you soon in the next upcoming video. Bye bye, take care.